Alright, I'm going to try this for my different thinkers who kind of already know who they are. And you're watching this because you understand math quickly. Does that make you better at math than your other classmates? I think all of you are smart, but I also think that it's good for you to learn in a different way than your other classmates. So remember, we're trying to be humble, and we don't want to create in our minds that we're better than one another and we're somehow smarter than our classmates. But rather, I want you to think that, hey, God has blessed me with quick thinking, but I still need to be humble and I still need to be kind. So when I say kind, I mean you don't make other people feel bad because you get things quicker than they do, okay? So that's what I want to say about that. So we're going to start off with a different feel for you. I'm going to try to be quick and functional with this video because you guys, like I said, are able to grasp things quicker. All right. So first, you're going to write in your journal place value of decimals. Don't write for different thinkers. You don't have to write that, but place value of decimals. The essential question for today, for you guys and for the class, is how do you read, write, and represent decimals through, thousands? I kind of messed that up here. Okay. And we are going to be unlocking the problem with this word problem right here. It says okay, it says the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel in New York City is 1.726 miles long. So go ahead and highlight that number. Now I'm going to show you a picture of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel because it's an actual place in New York. This is the tunnel. I'm assuming all the cones are for construction. And here's another picture of the tunnel. So apparently this tunnel is 1.726 miles long. Anyways, that's the picture. And get this, guys, it's not only a tunnel in New York City, but it's the longest underwater tunnel for vehicles in the United States. Apparently, I don't know if that's true, but that's what was in your book. Apparently, it's an underwater tunnel. I don't know exactly what that means, but apparently there's water in that tunnel. To understand this distance, you need to understand the place value of each digit in 1.726 miles. So here's what we're going to do. First, we are going to place the number in a place value chart. So go ahead and pause the video and draw this place value chart that I have already drawn here. Draw this in your notebook. Alright, after you've unpaused it, you are going to write in these numbers. So we wrote in the numbers 1.726. Make sure you put your decimal point in there. This black big blob is your decimal point. Now we want to figure out the value of each digit in this chart. So I'm going to pause this for myself, but you don't have to pause it yet. First, I'm going to write the value in expanded form. So this is expanded form. And if you were to actually write, and if in your math practice it asks you to write it in expanded form, you have to also include the plus sign because each digit is being added with one another. Now, let's dissect this real quick. So our first number is the ones, right? So that's why this number here is a 1. It's 1 because this number up here above it is 1. And we're going to multiply it by 1 because that's what you do in expanded form. Now this number here is a 7 because the above number, the tenths, is 7 tenths times 1 tenth. Now this is the fraction we're looking at. Now when you're doing decimals, it's no longer just solid whole numbers like these. It's actually fractions. So that's why over here we have 2, because our number up here is 2/100ths, and then we have the fraction 1/100. Now what changed in here? What changed here to here? A 0. A 0 was added in the hundredths place. Why? Well, because this is the hundredths place. This is the 10th place, so there's only 1 0, but in the hundredths there's 2 zeros. Now what about the thousands? The thousands always has 3 zeros, and our number is 6 because the above number here is 6. So it's going to be 6 times 1/1000. Now when would you use this stuff here? You use it if the math sheet is asking you what is the value of the mentioned number, which is 1.726 thousandths. What is the value of each digit? Write it in expanded form. This is what you're going to do. You're going to write it in expanded form like this. Now, what if we just want to write it in just basic decimal form? Well, that's pretty simple, okay? If we're going to just write it in basic decimal form, the value for this 1 is going to be 1.0, because the value of 1 is just 1, okay? That's it. Now, what about the tenths? Well, we're going to put the 7 down, and we can't forget our decimal. So decimal will be here. That's a decimal. So it's just going to be 0.7. So the value of this, oh man. If we want to say what's the value of the 7 in the tenths position, it's simply going to be 0.7. Now what about the value for the 2 in the hundredths place? Well, it's just going to be 0.02. Because in this, if we were to drop it down, it would be 2, 0, 0 point 0. That's what it would be like if we were to look at it in the place value chart and we're trying to find the value of the 2 in the hundredths position. Now what about the value for the 6 in the thousandths place? Well, that's going to be 0.006. Now you can say, can you please explain that to me further? Sure. The 6 is in the hundredths place. The 0 is in the hundredths place. 0 is in the tenths place. And 0 is in the ones place, because we're just trying to find the value of the 6 in the thousandths place. Okay? Now, let's read what I wrote down here. The place value of the digit in 6 in 1.726 is thousandths. The value of 6 in 1.726 is 6 times 1/1000, or 0.006, which is kind of like what we just were saying over here. Okay, I know my 6 is all jacked right now. So in standard form, you are simply going to write it. If they ask you to write the number in standard form, you are just writing the number like this. In word form, it's going to be 1/726 thousandths. And in expanded form, like I showed you up here, ignore what I wrote right there, because in expanded form, you're going to be writing it like this, okay? The number times the fraction, that's what you're doing with expanded form. Now, word form we didn't really completely cover. So the number is 1.726. So in word form it's 1, because the value of this 1 is simply 1. 700. Now that part is confusing to me because this 7 is in the tens place. So why isn't 7 tenths? But it's not. Apparently it's 700. 726 thousandths. So this is 1/726 thousandths. Let's practice one more for how to say it in word form, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. So here is the number 0. Here is the number. Now what would this be in word form? Well, we don't have to say anything for the ones place because it's a 0, but we do have a number here, which is 3. So we're going to write 3. Now remember, it's not going to be 3 tenths, even though the number is in the tenths position. It's going to be 3 hundredths. Because I'm thinking it's because we're moving into the hundredths place and we're going towards the thousandths place. So it's going to be 3 hundredths. Now it's going to be 26 thousandths. And there we go. Simple, right? So we have the 3 hundredths. Every time after the tenths, it's not going to be 3 tenths. It's going to be 3 hundredths. And then the next 2 digits are going to be said together. So it's not going to be 2 hundredths. It's not going to be 3 hundredths, 2 hundredths, 6 thousandths. It's just going to be 3 hundredths, 226 thousandths. So I'm going to give you your work and you're going to work on this by yourself. I hope this helped you and I hope it was a little bit quicker. It was only 12 minutes. Okay, good luck. Come get your papers from me.